This week we've got a I Hope You're Hungry episode of The Grid where we're going to be talking food photography with Aaron Van. And then later on in the show, we're going to be joined by Rick Salmon talking about his new book. And it all starts in 60 seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
Well, hey, Grid Nation. As you can see, there is a empty grid set yet again. Traffic is always bad in Tampa. What can I say? But anyways, Scott will be joining us in just a little bit on the show, but in our studios here in Tampa, filming this week, we have another food photography class coming from Aaron Van, and Aaron Van has taken a break from that and is joining us on the grid set on another set. So, hey Aaron, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, great. So we're gonna be talking, getting everybody hungry today. So we're talking food photography today. So this is all about food photography. I know Aaron's got some food photography tips. Scott, hopefully if he gets through that drive-through to get that chicken sandwich, gets on the show, he'll maybe have some tips for us as well. And then I just love food, so I could talk about food all the time. So it should be a fun episode today. But before we get down to the business of it, we do have to take care of some of the other business. And one of the other things we have to take care of is this week we've got a bunch of prizes to give away a show, a bunch of prizes. So it's like every week, it's just more and more and more, but that's great for you guys. So this week on the show, we're going to be giving away a Platypod twin pack. So we've got a twin pack of Platypods. These are, I don't know, I don't have to tell you what they are anymore, but if you don't know, they're the world's best compact tripod plate. It is a revolutionary device that will really take your photography to the next level, be able to mount a tripod or basically a solid surface about anywhere. Then the next thing we're going to be giving away is ON1's No Noise plugin. Great plugin for reducing noise in your images. And I'll tell you, I mean, it works on all different types of images. And the best thing is it keeps your files in that RAW format. So you still have the ability after the noise reduction to edit in RAW. And then we're going to be giving away Boris FX Optics, which is a plugin all about doing those magic things in Photoshop that take forever that the plugin just makes happen magically. So there you go, Boris FX Optics for Photoshop. And then we're going to be giving away books. We've got Scott's new Lightroom 7-point system. So we've got that book that we're going to be giving away. We have Scott's travel photography book we're going to be giving away to somebody. And then, like I said, Rick Salmon is going to be giving away a book. So we've got this, How to Make Money While You Sleep, from Rick Salmon. And he'll be joining us later in the show to talk about that, so make sure you stay tuned. But to enter, if you want any of those prizes, just leave us a comment. First, tell us where you're from, and then tell us what you'd like to win. If there's something that you'd like to win, tell us and let us know. And then also throughout the show, the more you comment, the more you are entered. So just leave us any questions too. If you have any questions about food photography, about food, favorite restaurants, I'm sure we'll get into that at some point and kind of divert, because food seems to be a theme anymore. So we kind of like take these diversions. So yeah, just leave us a question in the comments. But yeah, so Aaron, we were talking right before the show, and I say I don't really, I love great photography. I love great food photography, and I'm telling you, like, well, let me connect in here to the control room. I mean, because I think if you haven't seen Aaron's images, I mean, yeah, well, they got it there. They're just incredible. I mean, they are like, they make the food and the products come alive. To me, just make everything just comes alive. And that's what's great with great photography, is it makes whatever it is, just come alive and tell a story in that one frame. And I love all your uses of lighting and graphical elements to use. It's just amazing stuff. But we were talking about it, and I was saying that a lot of times the food photography is better than the food, right? And it's that whole thing of like trying to marry that, like, at what point is it like we have to make sure that we're not making the food look too good? Or is that a problem? So maybe you could tell, just kind of enlighten us on that, your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that we deal with on a regular basis. All the clients that I work for, we're always trying to find that sweet spot in between, showing off. Our job, my job as a photographer, is to translate what the experience of having that dish is going to be, or what it's going to taste like. So, and we dress it up and we make it look pretty, just like if it was a model wearing an outfit. It's meant for presentation. It's meant for advertising. And at the end of the day, my job and my goal is to make sure that that dish actually translates to what it would be in the restaurant. So I usually have a pretty good idea of what that dish tastes like, what's included in it, what are the elements of it. We go through what are the different components of the dish, so that we can really figure out how to show those off, so that when you see it, you've really got a good idea as to what it's going to taste like, and that's the end goal. You're never going to get it out of the restaurant the way that we photograph it. The chefs are, they're always yelling at us to stop making it look so pretty. But yeah, it's really just about making you crave it, and crave is my job. So.
Well, there you go, and I think that's a great point. I loved your point there you made about like. It's just like you're just like, it's the food's the model, and you're trying to make that look great, and then marrying those two things together. But I'll tell you, I mean, with these images, like, so are most of the things in your portfolio, I mean, this is all, mostly, are you using strobes, continuous light? Like what kind of lighting are you using to light a lot of this stuff?
Everything I shoot is actually strobe.
Okay.
I don't shoot anything continuous light typically.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I need a lot of depth of field, because when you're working at really close distances with longer lenses, because I'm typically working at like 85 to 105, 120 millimeters, you need a lot of depth of field, and to get a lot of depth of field, you need a lot of power. So we're putting a lot of light behind these. And I come from a background of studio work. I did a lot of studio portraiture a long time ago, and I always loved controlling light. So when I started building a portfolio in food and going into food and beverage photography, studio was really where I wanted to be. That was my thing. So that's everything in my portfolio is you'll see is controlled light.
Well, and there's the word. It doesn't matter. It seems like no matter what you were using, you definitely know how to control light. Yeah. Although the work in your portfolio screams great lighting. It's sculpted lighting, which, you don't think of like food photography as like this sculpted light, but it's an art form. And there's an art to that. I mean, even like like the highlights you're putting on a black plate on a brown brownie with the ice cream, and that's a hard shot to pull off right there. So how do you do something like that? How do you get into something like this?
Now, how do you get into food photography, or how do you get into shooting a brownie with ice cream on top?
Well, just getting into food photography, like where do they start? Because, a lot of people are going to watch this episode. They're going to see your food photography and be like, either one, I could never do that, or where do I start? Like, where do they start?
So the way I started, I started with nothing. I had no portfolio in food. I had a background in food a little bit, just because I love to cook and I love to develop recipes. I had won a food competition that took me, the grand prize was a trip to Ireland, and so I went to Ireland for a week and shot nothing but food, and I came back from that and it was like, okay, this is what I want to do for a living, right? So from there, I had some background in photography, but I had to build a portfolio in food, and my first thing was was really just calling local restaurants and talking to chefs and owners and saying, hey, if I come in and photograph some of your food, can I trade you pictures for food? Would you make some things to put in front of my camera? Just to practice, and I started that way, and just every photograph that I've taken over the last 7 years has gotten better and better and better and better and better, and this is where I'm at today. It just takes, it's 10,000 hours, right? You've got to put 10,000 hours into anything to really nail it, and so it's just putting that time in.
There you go. But so for a lot of people, It's more about that time than it is about like a specific piece of gear, or is it like you need a specific piece of gear?
No, correct. It's really about understanding. You have to understand light and how it interacts with food. You have to understand how the food is going to be displayed in the light. I mean, I can take my iPhone out and go up against somebody with a phase and probably take a better picture if I know more about the food and the light. You know,
Right.
it's not about the equipment. Now the equipment matters.
Yeah,
you know?
it helps. Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I shoot on medium format. Part of that is because that the level of work that I'm doing, the clients that I'm working with, those are some of the things that are, you know, for the most part required in commercial advertising. So I shoot with a lot of equipment, high-end equipment, but that, you know, that doesn't make a difference. The understanding the light, crafting the light, understanding the food, understanding the psychology of how the eye moves through a photograph, you know, especially in food photography, to get an eye to move through a photograph and actually land on the things that you want to land on and not get distracted by, you know, tangents or highlights and hot spots, and understanding, you know, how the brightest part of the image is the part that the eye is going to go to, and how to use that to your advantage to, you know, dial in those things. Like those are all those little techniques and tricks and stuff that you have to learn along the way while you're building that portfolio to continue to advance. So,
Well,
this photo that you have up on the screen
yeah.
is actually a really early shot. This was one that I did in my living room, you know, probably 6 months in. So,
yeah, probably not using again all that other equipment, but using the same techniques, and then you grow with it, right?
Yep.
And that's but we were talking about tangents, and speaking of tangents, there we go. We got a
Hey-o. Hi, Aaron.
Studio.
Hello.
We've got
Hi.
Scott
I'm
in
Mr.
the
Kuna.
studio.
Hey, you know what? I want to read Jerry Plus's comment because I think it's right. I think Scott needs a private helicopter to commute. Eric, can you
Sounds like we need to get on that.
Can you do something? Yeah, this one's totally self-inflicted. Last week it was traffic. This week it was just stupidity. So anyway, this is 2 weeks in a row. Next week I have to be on time. I don't know why. Anyway, but good to be here because I've got big news. You haven't shared the big news yet.
No. But Hilmar is saying, "Gosh, I'm hungry." So I told you in the beginning.
Yeah.
I think you're.
I was just looking at.
You're gonna get hungry this episode.
Oh my gosh, this is.
hi, Helmar.
And I brought some food ideas, not food photography ideas, just food ideas. So I will be sharing some of those because now it's a thing. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I do have huge mega news, and I asked Mr. Kuna not to share it until I got here via helicopter.
Yep.
All right, so
He
here's the
just
big
landed
news.
on his.
So we have a friend, Larry Grace. You guys have seen Larry Grace. He's been on the grid numerous times, and he is an aviation photographer. And so Larry says to Mr. Kuna, you know, man, you got some, you know, amazing rocket shots and these nebula thing that no one's doing. Like Erik kind of is the guy that revolutionized this nebula. Not that no one's ever taken a shot like that before, but he's the one that made it a thing, right? So, I mean, when Elon Musk tweets your shot, you know you're getting something good going on. So anyway, Larry says, you know, Aviation Week magazine runs a photo contest. You should enter one of those. And Erik thought, well, I don't know. And he's like, no, really. And he bugged Erik enough to where Erik entered. And he flipping won first place. Not only did Erik win first place in the Aviation Week photo competition, then they saw some of his aviation photos and said, hey, can we use this one for the cover? And he's got the cover of Aviation Week. He got first place and what, 2 editors' choice?
Yeah, 3.
Three editors' choice. Can you show the cover? Let's start with the cover before we get to the award-winning images. But that's quite a home run there.
Yeah.
So take a look at this.
Yeah, that was the. So I don't know if they have it. Do they?
Let's
have
see.
it?
Have you guys got Erik's feed yet?
Let me see. I do have it up.
They got it. Let's see.
Maybe. Yeah. So that's the cover, and that was the image. So there you go.
Nice.
Come on. Congrats.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Congrats, man. That is saying something. And show us the first place image.
So this was the first place image there. So it's a shot of the Falcon 9 leaving the atmosphere, illuminating the plume, and then you got the star field captured behind it. So very
Come
cool
on,
stuff. And then
congratulations.
that was the top editor's pick, was this image of the Inspiration 4 launch. Same thing. So, and then I got a streak shot in there that won for.
You just cleaned house over there.
And then that other image there, and then that was my aviation image that got into the finals as well, the F-22.
Wow.
So, there you go. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That is an incredible accomplishment.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
Holy cow. I'm not surprised in the least. I'm not surprised. But
I mean, I was. I mean, you're never happy with your own images.
Oh,
you know?
I know.
But
I know.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but
I know.
I'm sure Erik has something to say about those 10,000 hours too, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's you're exactly right there. I mean, it's anything. You've got to put in the time. I mean, you've got to keep on putting in the time, keep on going out, keep on. It's a lot about photography is about perseverance. It's about getting through, getting past those difficult things, keeping on moving, and keeping on practicing, and then getting to the point where you can perfect something. And it does. Like Aaron's saying, it takes hours and hours and hours to get to that mastery level.
Well, that explains why I'm unhappy with so many of my photos, because I haven't done 10,000 hours, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't look that good. That's why. I'm about 6,000 hours in. On so many of my genres, I'm like, oh, 6,000 hours. I can tell you I haven't shot 10,000 hours of sports unless you count the time it takes me to drive to the stadiums.
Well, I think that is it's really counting, like putting that as, because there's just as much with sports photography, knowing the players, knowing the game, knowing it's like Aaron was talking about. It's more about knowing the subject than it is about what camera you shoot or what lens you shoot. I mean, the reason that those images, I love rockets, I love planes, I study them, I know how they move, I know what's going to cause the vapors, what's not going to cause the vapors, what's going to cause the nebula, what's not going to.
He knows all that nerd crap.
Yeah. Well, but you know the same thing when it comes to the lighting on a model. Like, I have no idea. Like what Aaron's showing, I have no idea.
It's easier.
You know?
Shooting people is much easier.
I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see me photograph aviation photography and you do food photography, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, that would be cool. That would be cool.
My problem with food photography is that once the food arrives on the set, if I don't shoot it in the first 10 seconds, we have to ask for more food.
It's going to be gone. Forget that.
Gone. See that steak?
I'm not there. That steak's on that plate. Well,
that steak would be, I'd be going, do I really need to shoot this, or can I eat it first? So you'd see the plate with the bone left. It wouldn't go well. All right. Hey, we have to take a short one. When we come back, we've got some more. I see some questions coming in for Aaron.
Yeah.
I've got a giveaway what we haven't talked about yet that's coming up, and something.
And then at the end of the show, we got Rick Salmon coming on.
Oh, and at the end of the show, we got Rick Salmon. What a way to end. All right, stick around. We'll be right back here live on the grid.
Hello everybody, my name is Aaron Van. We're here at my studio in Orlando, Florida, on location shooting lighting for food photography. I am a commercial advertising food and beverage photographer. This is my first class with the Kelby One community, and I'm so excited to share with you my knowledge and my perspective on how to light for food. I'm gonna get into the nitty-gritty details. We're gonna get into some technical stuff, but at the end of the day, what we're really looking for is I wanna give you the tools to have a base of knowledge of understanding of how to light food. In this class, we're going to get into some of the details about sensor size, lights, cameras, lenses. We're going to look into aperture and how apertures really play a role in food photography or in photographing something so tight and so close, and how much light we need to shoot those subjects the way we want to. Not only will you have a general knowledge base to be able to light any scene in a tabletop environment, but I want you to have all the pieces and parts and tools that you need to be able to put together your own recipe for your style. I want you to take this lighting and this information and create your look and feel and figure out how you want to light your subject. Come join me for my first class on lighting for food photography on kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by B&H Photo, the professional source since 1973.
Hey, we're back, Scott and Erik, as always, and we have our special guest in the studio making us hungry. Aaron's here. So, Aaron, I got a couple of questions that just came in, so I'm going to just go ahead and ask. This is from Beth. Beth says, how does an eye move through the food? moved through a food photo. Let
and
me
it's
reread that because I messed it up because it's not. How does how does the viewer's eye move through a food photo?
Yeah, and that's from earlier. You were talking about
The psychology.
the image, and how your eye moves through the photo. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a whole psychology about how an eye moves through a photograph, and you start off with the eye is always going to go to the brightest part of the image. So your attention is always focusing on the brightest part of the image, and then your eye is typically moving up and to the left and around an image, and then coming back down to where you started looking at it. So along that journey, if there's something that the brain says isn't quite right, like if there's a tangent or if there's, and a lot of this is very subconscious. But if there's something that stops your eye from moving through the image, it really kind of puts a block on the image. So one of the goals that I always have is just making sure that there's nothing that looks really weird or out of the ordinary, even out of focus areas, to make sure that something is still recognizable for what it is, so that your mind can move through the image really smoothly and easily. And the better you can get at that, the more successful your images can be.
You know what stopped me was that chicken sandwich shot a minute ago. We're like, oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's legit. Look at that.
That's the funky chicken.
Oh,
There it is.
man. That looks amazing.
Like you were talking about there with like the breaks, like sometimes, again, this is where like understanding that stuff and then being able to break the rules, because sometimes you'll put a break in an image because you want people to you want to elicit like a behavior, like a feeling that you're putting like a break in the pattern. So it's like isolating the image or making it kind of feel like there's tension or something. So
Absolutely.
You can use it both ways.
Another question, this is from Mike. Mike wants to know, Aaron, when you shoot food, do you have multiple samples of the food? Like, do you have multiple hamburgers like lined up, or what's the story?
Yes, absolutely. On a typical shoot, we'll have multiples of everything. So the kitchen, the food stylists and such, they'll have, if we're shooting a hamburger, they'll have probably 30 or 40 different buns to choose from. They'll have different patties, all the different components. They'll have a lot of it, and they'll pick the hero elements. When on set, I get a stand-in, so I'll get an initial, like let's say a burger, I'll get an initial burger that's just kind of thrown together with the different layers, and so that I can see it and see all the elements of it. And I'll start styling the set, and I'll start styling the lighting and crafting the lighting around that stand-in. We'll spend some time getting that right, and then at the last second, that hero is going to be brought in and going to be put into place. And that's the one that has been styled and is perfect and ready to go. And then we capture that because it's fresh, because the food will die on set very quickly. So that is fresh, and then we can take it apart and move on to the next shot. So.
Wow,
Awesome.
Nice. That last burger reminds me of one of my favorite burgers. There's a place in Hartford, Connecticut. I want to think it's called Plan 21. No, Plan 51? Plan B Burger. It's Plan B Burger. And that little thing on the top, a garnish on the top with a pickle with a little sword through it and all. And it's a phenomenal, one of my top 10 burger places.
Cool.
Plan B. It's called Plan B. It's not 21, because that's Burger 21 here in Tampa.
I still like that one in
Milt's in
Moab.
in
Oh my
Moab.
gosh.
Eric was in Moab,
incredible.
and he's talking to me. He's texting me. He's in Moab just like a month or so, a couple months ago or something.
About 3 months ago.
About 3 months ago. And he's texting me. I'm like, dude, you're in Moab? Go to Milt's. And he's, Milt's? What's Milt's? I'm like, it will change your life.
It changed me.
It did. It changed his metabolism. It changed his DNA.
Yeah, forget it.
Oh,
yeah, it's
gosh,
all downhill.
Man, you're the burger meister. Aaron, you are like burger man.
I do shoot a lot of burgers. I actually just got a quote request from a company for a brand who wants to up their burger game, and so I'm currently quoting a job for just burgers.
You
like
could
I'm
be
shooting
known
like 11
as
burgers.
the Burger King.
Yeah.
Come on.
That might be a goal
No?
one day. One day if I can have an image on Burger King's menu, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be awesome, though. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
but make sure it's the chicken sandwich, because everything else at Burger King stinks.
Well,
yeah, but that Burger King
personal opinion.
chicken sandwich is really good.
Dude, the
Right.
Burger King chicken sandwich stands out among all burger sandwiches. I mean,
And
it's
like
one
the
of the
sauce on
best.
it. Yeah.
Dude, theirs is phenomenal.
So I actually have a really cool little story. When I first got started with this, I was looking at Ruby Tuesday's menu a lot for inspiration. I loved their photography, and I was looking at all different restaurants. Well, about 2 months ago, I just shot the new menu for Ruby Tuesday.
Oh, awesome.
all right.
So
there you go.
for their 50th
Congratulations.
anniversary. So
Well, we would go
There you
check
go,
it out,
full
but
circle.
our last Ruby Tuesday just closed.
It did. It closed.
Yeah, it closed, and it was, once you're not going to the salad bar.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, there's another question. This is from Dodie. So Dodie wants to know, Dodie is wondering, how are you able to get ice cream not to melt before you get the shot? And Dodie says, is it the stand-in thing you're referring to now, or is it something else?
Well, so that is a tricky one. Ice cream is always difficult. There's a couple of little quick tips I'll give you. One is that yes, you're using a stand. If you use a stand-in to crack, get your lighting right and everything, and then you're bringing that hero in at the last second because you've got like 10 seconds, 20 seconds to work with ice cream. A really good trick though is if you do your scoops ahead of time and you put those in the freezer for a good couple hours, they're going to harden up more and they're going to stay frozen a little bit longer. So you're kind of prepping it ahead of time and doing your styling beforehand. Another way is if you take dry ice and put it in like a little colander sifter thing, and you just hold it over the ice cream while it's on set, and that dry ice, that coldness from the dry ice is just going to kind of fall over the ice cream and it'll keep it from melting. There's also a spray that you can get on Amazon. It's like a refrigerant spray, and it's for making things super cold. And if you just kind of spray that over it, you'll get another couple of seconds with it before it starts dripping and melting and whatnot. So.
All right. Hey, I got a question. Can we bring up the shot two back from where we just were from your site? So it was
the ice cream cone,
the
or
waffle cone shot.
Waffle cone, yeah.
Can you just go right that one right there? So if I may, Aaron, may I call you Aaron? Aaron, what kind of background? Like, what are you using for the background for this shot?
That is actually a company called Erickson Surfaces out of California, and I have a collection of their surfaces. It's really just nicely painted wood surfaces, and there's one on the sitting on the surface, and then there's one on the background, just standing up, and keep it really simple and clean, and yeah.
All right, that looks great. That's and I love the styling on it. The stylist did a wonderful job in just the spilling of the hazelnuts, carefully spilled.
Yeah,
of course,
perfectly imperfect. That's the goal that myself and my stylist were always looking for, that perfectly imperfect. And you'd be amazed. A lot of some clients will tell us, oh well, we probably don't need a stylist because we like the messy look and we want it to look, natural. It's actually harder to get that perfectly imperfect look right in camera than it is to just sprinkle stuff down, because you do that and it just doesn't, it never translates right. It has to be done very, purposefully.
Oh gosh. Aaron, I put on weight just looking at your
Yeah,
photos.
I know, right? I gotta go eat.
I'm doing my job.
Oh man, I'm serious. I'm getting crazy hungry. I haven't had a lunch yet.
I told everybody at the beginning, it says, prepare to get hungry.
All right. Hey, all right. So Aaron, one of the things that I do on the grid, I don't know why this started, but I give food tips. Now, a lot of the tips I give are...
I know why it started. It's just because that's what we talk about.
Because what we talk about all the time, because we love food. But I give like low carb tips. Like I have low carb tips, keto tips, and then sometimes there are other tips because you can't eat keto every day. It's like you can eat it for a while.
Sometimes you need that White Castle burger.
Sometimes you need a White Castle burger. All right, so I did a field test. All right, this is important. Mm-hmm. I did a field test. Now, I've been talking about the Arnold Bread Company's white bread. And it's like Wonder Bread. And you would never know it was. But it's close. It's the closest thing, and I've tried every like low carb bread there is. It's the closest. Then I got their hamburger buns. Their hamburger buns are absolutely indistinguishable from a McDonald's bun.
Wow.
They are like the bun you get on a cheeseburger.
And it's low carbs?
It's one carb.
Oh, wow.
It is one carb per bun, one single net carb. That is ridiculous. And if I gave it to you, you would never know. Now, I wanted to see, are their hot dog buns any good? Because I haven't had hot dogs in a while. But this weekend, with 2 football games, the Alabama Roll Tide playing in Atlanta. They played the SEC championship.
Yeah, boy, they pulled that one out.
Georgia.
Yeah.
So they're moving on to the playoffs. Then the Bucks won, and they're pretty much playoff bound. because the next team back's four games back. We have to lose all four games.
Yeah, we'd have to really mess up.
And we could win.
And we
this
have
week.
Tom Brady, so
we have Tom Brady.
It's like
so
cheating.
He's okay. All right. We had hot dogs. Their hot dogs their buns are 1 carb. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm like, this is amazing. So my buddy Max comes over, right? Max and I play Warzone like every night. New Warzone tonight, by the way. Today, just downloaded today. I had to let my Xbox run all night to download it. Anyway, long story short, Max came. We had regular buns that normal people eat, and then we had keto buns. Max wasn't paying attention. He ate the keto buns. And I said, Max, how was the hot dogs? They were great, man. They were awesome. And I go, how was the bun? And he's like, what? How's the bun? What's the bun?
That's the bun.
I'm like, dude, that was 1 carb. That was, he could not believe it. It was 1 carb, and he ate it, never even, like, usually if you eat something that's like low carb, you're like,
oh, you know it. A lot of times you know it.
I'm telling you, 1 carb for a hot dog bun, 1 carb for a hamburger bun, and the least of the 3 is their bread, but it's still the very best thing out there.
Wow.
Like if I gave it to you in a sandwich and I didn't tell you it was low carb, you probably wouldn't know. It's like Wonder Bread. It's as white bread like when we were a kid.
And where's the affiliate link to like?
There is no affiliate link. This is what's terrible about this. Arnold doesn't know me from anything except for they keep seeing who is this Scott Kelby guy buying hamburger buns, hot dog buns, and white bread.
He just bought a truckload. What's going on?
It is expensive as crap. It's so expensive. The bread loaf is at Publix is $7. That's a lot. Now I got the other ones off of.
That's a lot.
Dude, that's a lot for a loaf of bread. It's $7. Totally worth it. There are other ones I got off of Amazon. Just Amazon, It's
crazy.
Anyway, this has nothing really. Well, it kind of does.
Well, it does have to do with food.
And I do have
and we
another
could probably bring it back around.
I got one more at the end, but I want to make sure.
I do have a question here, and it goes along this lines, and that is, Aaron, looking at your food photography, is everything?
None of it's low carb. By the way.
Along that,
you're not the low carb king.
That's
for sure. I'm moving the wrong way.
Is it edible?
Yes.
Is it real? Like, because you hear those stories like, oh no, that was this chemical or that was this additive,
not really
or
ice cream,
that wasn't
it's
real ice
shortening
cream.
or
So everything is real.
Yes, I mean, typically you wouldn't want to eat it at the end of it because it's been touched by 10 different people and it's been sitting on set for an hour. As a food photographer, everybody always asks me, do you get to try everything? I was like, yeah, but it's always cold. Like, we never get hot food. But yeah, it's all real. There are some tips and tricks here and there, and there's some little, fibs and flubs. Like if you're doing a turkey, you don't want to cook the turkey all the way to temperature because the skin really contracts, and so you cook it lightly, and then you enhance the color on the skin with like kitchen bouquet or something. But we're always using real food product. There's nothing that's inedible. It's just a matter of whether or not you'd want to eat it. But it's also very careful to make sure that we're using, like if we're shooting for a client, we're using their product. We're using the product that they get in their restaurants. And as well, we're also weighing things. We're making sure that all the weights are right so that we're showing the actual portions. Those are all very important things and things that we're always making sure are done on set.
See, this is why I'm not a full-time food photographer, because there's no way in hell I'm getting anywhere near a scale. If you got to bring a scale around me, it's not going to happen.
It's just a little scale, it's just a little kitchen countertop one.
They don't make a big enough scale that I can't crush.
Right.
So anyway, let's see.
We do have to take a break.
Hey, I got to, okay, wait. Before we take the break, JC says we need Scott's number so when we're out and about, we can get advice on where to eat. I think he knows the best place to eat everywhere. I have a testimony. A couple of days ago, Unmesh Dinda, who is from Mumbai, India. He's one of our instructors, a great guy and a buddy. He says, Scott, I'm in New York City. Where should I eat?
Oh, boy.
What did I tell him?
Oh, golly, there's a few places.
Come on, think about it.
I mean, what type of cuisine are we
Italian.
talking about? Carmine's?
Carmine's on West 44th. So
I
here's
shot
what
for
I told
Carmine's.
him. I said,
You did?
Yeah.
I said, go to Carmine's
Awesome.
on West 44th, order there, and I went and looked it up on their menu, but it's a lemon chicken, and asked them to put it over angel hair pasta. This morning, I get a thing from Unmesh. He goes, look where I'm at. And it's a picture inside Carmine's, and he said, this is the best meal I've had in the United States.
Wow.
I'm telling you, there is something about their lemon. They hammer it or
well,
something.
Well, and it's the way you get it modified, because we've been there and had that. And you get it modified just slightly, and I do like it better.
Yeah, that's all I do is I just
sauce.
ask them to put it over, because it just comes by itself. So I say, can you?
Yeah, it like soaks up the sauce and stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you what.
Well, when you went online and looked at that picture, that was my photograph that you were looking at.
Are you serious?
Serious. I shot their entire catalog.
Aaron, I think I love you.
I mean, we spent 3 weeks up in New York shooting their catalog for them and their sister restaurant, the barbecue place.
Oh
cool.
My gosh!
Yeah, that was a fun shoot.
Aaron, we got to.
No, that'd be a shoot though that I would have to be like, can you make me one?
I know
Did I just go from like here to here?
My favorite dish. Holy cow! All right, you got a new fan.
I'm gonna need one for me to shoot and one for me to eat.
Yep,
I need two for me to eat.
Yep. I have pictures of me in
two. That'd be like enough for like 7,
Yeah, they give you
8
family.
people.
So for those of you who haven't been to Carmine's, they serve everything family style. So the plate is like bigger than I can fit on screen. I'm not kidding. The plate is this wide. It is a big, giant oval, and there'll be like 6 chicken breasts. Everything comes that big, and everybody laughs. It's one of those places where they lay down the food and you just laugh. I mean, the salad and the desserts. The Titanic is the largest dessert I've ever seen. Did you get to shoot any of the desserts? Did you shoot the tugboat or the Titanic?
Yeah, we shot all of those. And I also did lifestyle in the middle of the restaurant in Times Square, and so we were doing like a kid's birthday party in the middle of the restaurant with the Titanic coming out and everybody singing for him and the candles. And yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, did you when you shot the Titanic, did you have to use a 14 millimeter with like extra wide angle?
Yeah,
because is it the longest dessert you've ever seen?
That was huge. Like, and photographing that one actually for the menu was really tough. I think we had to do it like 3 times because by the time it gets out to you, they've spent so long preparing it that it's half melted. Like it looks like, and
it's
so
like
doing
4 feet long. Isn't it 4 feet?
Yeah.
It's 4 feet long.
It's crazy.
It's like for a birthday party. It's just, and otherwise get the tugboat, which is only like 2 feet long.
Yep.
That's it. That's Carmine's. And that's that picture you see right there.
Yeah, so that's my photo right there.
Yeah.
That's my photo right there.
Oh, look at you, dude. I'm seriously, I got a man crush now.
That one is not my photo. I would have shot that better.
Yeah, I was going to say,
my
that
photo
looks like
right
one
there.
of yours.
He's like, not
Your stuff
mine.
is top
And then
drawer.
Virgil's Real Barbecue. That was the sister restaurant. That's all my photography as well.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
And if you go to my Instagram, in the stories, there's a section called New York City, and you'll actually see some behind the scenes of us shooting on location.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
In New York City and for
man.
Carmine's.
Man crush. All right, we have to take a break now because we've gone way into the Carmine's thing. I still have another.
We have a few questions, and if you have any other questions, here's the time to get them in before this last break.
Yeah, and I got something to give away. So I believe it is today. Now I can verify. Hold on. One second. Give me 2 seconds to just verify. It needs some verification. Let's see. Tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, my ebook comes out from my Lightroom book for digital photographers. This is the same book that is used as the classroom textbook in colleges and universities around the world. It is the #1 best-selling Lightroom book in history. I got all the new masking stuff in it. That's why it's coming out a little late.
Yeah.
Because I wrote the book.
You had to update it.
And I had to hold it because I knew that the masking stuff was coming. So I waited until I got all the masking stuff integrated through the entire book and a whole chapter just on masking. I got all the new stuff covered in there, all my latest techniques, because things change over the years. You change different ways. It was a massive update to the book. It was one of the biggest updates I've ever done to the book. And the book started, I've written it like every year or every year and a half when Lightroom comes out, since 2007. So anyway, it comes out tomorrow in ebook, and on the 17th, they're saying it's in stock at Amazon. And I just got an email from my publisher today. They said it still looks like they're going to hit the date. So the 17th in print, but I'm going to give away 5 copies today. Count them, 5 copies of the ebook edition, which comes out tomorrow. And then the print edition will be out, on the 17th. Sorry, I kind of went blank there, and I looked at Erik, and he was like, He's on his phone, like, buying stuff on eBay.
Yeah, buying stuff on it. I'm buying some hamburger buns.
Buying some buns. Get those keto buns off Amazon. Oh, use my promo code. Just kidding. Don't have one. All right. We're going to take a short break. We have some more questions for Aaron. I've got another food tip for the holidays.
There you go.
It's not really for the holidays, but
and we got Rick Salmon after the next
And we got
break.
baby Rick. Little baby
Would
Rick.
you believe us if we told you that you could fit studio lighting in your pocket? Well, Lytra has made it possible. Lytra is a global award-winning brand that designs and manufactures professional-grade camera lights that are compact, rugged, and waterproof. Whether you're using Lytra gear in a photo studio or underwater, Lytra's mission is to provide content creators with flexible and unlimited lighting tools that can mount on any camera, anywhere. Their lights come with a high CRI or color rendering index, making them some of the most color accurate lights in the industry. Due to the light's compact and rugged design, photographers are able to use the lights in ways that their studio lighting never could. Lytra has also made multiple lighting accessories available to fit your every need as a creator. Whether you're shooting portraits, nailing a product shot, or even flying your drone, they have got you covered. Lytra enables photographers and filmmakers to focus on their craft and create something beautiful. What will you create?
I'm Hilmar Smith, and this is my new class, Creative Family Portraits for Special Occasions. This is an amazing way that you can learn how to incorporate different kind of ideas into your photography business that will bring you money throughout the year. We're gonna be doing 3 live shoots, one with a toddler. So I will teach you how to photograph a toddler and keep them entertained and get mom and dad relaxed throughout the photo shoot. Then we're gonna be photographing a girl, and she's gonna be using these pictures for her special occasion, as an invitation for her birthday party. And then I'm gonna be showing you how to photograph your own family the way that I do photograph my own. Step up your photography game. Don't put yourself in a box. And join me in my new class at kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Canon.
Hey, Rick.
Hey, man.
Hey, we are back. Scott Kelby here, and Erik and Aaron are here. And on the line is a very, very special guest. Rick, I don't know if you've been watching the show today, but
I have been.
Dude, is Aaron a kick butt
Well, actually,
food photographer?
He is amazing, and I don't know. I think maybe you could start like another weekly podcast called The Grill.
Oh, I like that. The
Right?
grill.
Yeah, the grill.
I just talk about food all the time.
Well, at the very least, I can make up a cool logo that says, and now it's time for our segment on food, and we just call it, and we put the grid logo, but we write the grill.
Right.
The grill, there you go.
Rick, you're full of great ideas, and you're in New York. You're so close to Carmine's.
Well, I think, we have to go there, but when you're coming up here next time, we have to go. But boy, oh boy, Susan switched me to salads for lunch about 5 years ago. So,
God, you know what? That's why, they say, Rick, they say married men live longer.
Yeah.
And it's because of stuff like that, where your wife says, okay, it's salad time, right? It's just all of a sudden, it goes to that. And then, oh, yeah, can you do that, what you're doing there, one? Okay.
Well, that and one other thing, I live by the philosophy: happy wife, happy life.
Oh yeah, man, that is absolutely true. So anyway, Rick, it is great to see you. Now, Rick.
Yes.
Before we talk about anything else, I just want to mention I have your new book, which is How to Make Money While You Sleep.
Yep.
It's Rick's passive income book, and I put it in my holiday gear guide.
Thank you.
And dude, you're on a different series of books for you, and they're so good. All of them are good. All of them wind up being hits. They're like so Rick isn't doing Rick does photography books, and he's written just dozens of books.
Yeah.
And Rick is one of the most, not only one of the most prolific authors in our space, but one of the best authors, hands down. He's a great teacher and a great photographer, and a great communicator, which is really, there's a lot of people that can take good photos, but there are a few people that can communicate the way Rick does. So Rick has taken his communication skills and moved it to different aspects of motivation and creativity. And his latest one right there is How to Make Money While You're Sleeping, Your Guide to Passive Income. And of course, Rick's got all the freaking money in the world. I don't know who has more. One day we'll have to figure, is it Erik or is it Rick? But the two of them,
I think it's Erik, but I got the idea from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has a saying, and the saying is, if you don't learn how to make money when you're sleeping, you're going to work until you're dead.
Ooh, ouch.
It is very true.
And I've been around a long time, and I learned a long time ago that passive income really is the key to, when you get to be as old as I am, Scott, in about 30 or 40 years, you'll be as old as I am, and you rely on passive income.
Oh, well, I tell you what, though, you look young as hell. You know what it is? When I think of Rick, you look like you should be on stage with a classic rock band. You have
Definitely
that look.
does.
Now you've gone through lots of looks over your years, but right now this is my favorite Rick Salmon look. Tell me he doesn't look like he's in Loverboy. Like he would be the guitar player in some classic rock band.
I totally see what you're saying.
Bad Company. Yep. I would look, and you would see him now. Rick does play guitar. He's quite a good guitar player. He's a very accomplished musician all the way around. He plays bass, he plays guitar, he plays piano. I mean, he's a very, very accomplished musician. Anyway, he's into this genre of writing books, and I'm so impressed. I mean, the guy's reinventing himself.
Well, if I may say, actually, I wanted to say this in front of everyone. I want to say thank you. I broke my ankle back in July, and you called. And you were texting me like the day of my surgery, I think 3 times before. And as soon as I woke up from the anesthetic, we were texting. So I really want to thank you for those people who are new to the grid. Scott Kelby is one of the nicest, most caring guys on the planet. So thank you for that. But anyway, when I broke my ankle, I said, what am I going to do now? I can't go out and take pictures. So I said, okay, I'll write another book. So that's how.
There you go.
So I found the Warren Buffett quote of, that you have to learn how to make money when you're sleeping. And I wrote that book in about 2 months on my back. But again, thank you so much for all your caring. It's really great to be part of the Kelby One family. I was going to say community, but it's really more like a family.
Well, thank you, Rick. I do have a confession to make. Those were automated calls.
Yeah,
they were.
I have that app.
I have a service. Yeah, it's $1.99, and you just call this person and say nice stuff in my voice, and it.
But you know what? People think since my last 3 books, as you were saying, that they have not a single picture except for the front and the back. But my new Kelby One class, Christina, who's amazing, right?
Yeah,
Christina?
I'm her biggest fan.
She told me I could plug my new class, which is actually a lot of new pictures in there. My favorite pictures of the class is coming out next week. I think it's called Unlock Your Creativity, a step-by-step process to how to.
There's a lot of nude photos in there.
New,
but yeah.
I talk fast.
It sounded like close. Nude. I'm thinking, wow.
No, I might have said it.
Oh, okay. No, it's okay.
We could go on the replay. We could go.
Okay. Well, anyway, so Rick, what we've been talking about is food. So it looks like we have to take a break. But Rick, don't go away.
Okay.
Because I want you to take this break to think about your food suggestion.
Okay.
Because we're all about food today. Aaron's here. Erik and I eat food.
Yeah.
Right. So there's
a food suggestion. Okay.
So a food suggestion. We're going to take a short one. It's our last break. So whatever ads come up, just buy everything that the ads say because they're our sponsors, and we need sponsors to be on the air. It's very important.
Sponsored by Arnold.
Have you given the shout outs yet? Can we do the?
No, we can give them when we come back. Yeah,
we'll give them when we get back, and then we're going to pick winners for these, including 5 copies of my Lightroom book, classic book for digital photographers. Stick around, don't go away.
I'm Erik Kuna, and we're here at Cape Canaveral, Florida, to bring you this class on rocket photography. I'm so excited about this class because this is something I'm really passionate about. I really would love to, take you through the process, start to finish, of how we go through planning a rocket shoot, how we go all the way through to the post-production. But not only that, this is something that anybody can do. Yes, we're going to go through and show you press access and how we can shoot remotely on the pad, but I'm going to show you how you can go off-site, shoot rocket streaks, shoot nebulas, shoot telephoto shots that anybody can shoot, all in this class. And we're gonna go start to finish through the process. So come check out my new class on kelby1.com.
This segment of The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the world's most compact tripod base.
Hey, we're back, and Scott's here, and Aaron's here, and I'm here.
And Rick Salmon.
Rick Salmon, all the way from New York. Looking good, feeling good. How's
Feeling
the ankle?
good.
Ankle good?
The ankle's great. I just came back from a Bosque del Apache in New Mexico, photographing with the R3. Birds in flight with the eye tracking, amazing. I got amazing pictures, the best bird pictures I've ever gotten in my life.
Wow. Yeah, the R3. That's like the camera that's like.
Oh boy, yeah, I got to like play around with it just for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And it is amazing. It is
Wow.
amazing.
The focus is crazy.
Oh yeah. Well, it even has that weird feature where you can actually focus wherever your retina is. You can actually set it in the viewfinder and it'll follow wherever your eye is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yes, but you have to
pretty
calibrate.
Weird.
Yeah, you have to calibrate it. So
Yes,
you do
calibrate
it like
it to your
four
eye.
times this way, 4 times this way. But they had that. You know, I did a TV show in Botswana with John O'Hurley about 15 years ago with a Canon film camera, and they actually had that feature in an old Canon film camera.
Yeah.
I forget what the model was, but no, it's amazing. But that and animal tracking, it's
The animal
technology
and the vehicle
today.
and all that. It's just amazing.
Wow. Hey, we got some shout outs real quick. We're going to hit too, so let's go.
Yeah, so we got John Unser joining us from Milwaukee saying hi. We got Beth from Portland, Oregon. We got David over there from Sweden. Rose from all the way in New Zealand joining us. Rose up early. And then we got Dave Williams joining us saying
the
good
Wanderer.
evening. I believe he's on his way back from Iceland, if I'm not mistaken.
I saw his pictures from
And then
Iceland.
Anna saying
He's so good.
that should be Scott's next book, Best Places to Eat.
I agree. I've got some, I
go.
take my eating seriously.
And it looks like Rick's class is coming out next week on Unlock Your Photography Creativity. So there you go.
All right. And we've got so there is a discount code on my book. We're just seeing this just now.
Yep.
It's got to be from peachpit.com.
Yes,
it's from peachpit.com. So that's the publishers of my Lightroom book. It's 35% off, and the code to get that it's all caps Kelby LR3. So unfortunately, they send you my Lightroom 3 book. No, that's not it. It's 35% off Kelby LR3. And Rick, don't go away, but we still have a question we haven't got to for Aaron, so I want to hit that real quick. And so Bill's asking. Bill says, "Hey, hi Aaron. What basic tips do you have for shooting food on the fly? So you're visiting a restaurant. That's what he said. So you're visiting a restaurant. You're not bringing in lighting and all that kind of stuff. So what are your basic tips for shooting food on the fly?"
First thing I would do is just rely on natural light. If you can't bring the light, then rely on the light that you have. Most indoor restaurant lighting is not going to be good. So if you can get there during the day, or especially in the morning or in the evening when you've got a really nice soft light from outside coming in, just get that dish next to a window. And a lot of people will put a dish, like, just if the window's here, they'll put the dish to the side of it. I actually like shooting from the back. Food is always lit best from the back. Even a little bit angled from the back. You want to craft you're looking for dimension in the subject. So having your light on the back and your shadows on the front are going to really bring out the dimension in the food. So if you are in a restaurant and it's in the evening, don't shoot under the top down lights, the stuff that's coming straight down. Find the right light. Sometimes just hunting for that light, you'll find it if you look hard enough. So.
And just to our control room, stop showing pictures of Aaron's food. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you. Dude, you were lights out food photographer, and now you're my favorite food photographer because of our Carmine's. Oh, come on. I love Tijuana Flats.
I do all of Tijuana. Yeah, so if you walk into a Tijuana Flats today, every image in there or I think almost every image in there is mine right now. I've been shooting for them for about 3 years now.
Yeah,
and I love doing shots like this.
Tijuana Flats because it's so tasty.
Yeah, and I love doing shots like this where we get to take, we have some fun with it and take the kids' stuff and draw and crayons and all that kind of stuff. Those are always fun.
Wow.
Very cool.
All right, Rick. May I call you Rick?
Yes, please.
How you doing, Rick?
I'm doing great. Some people call me Ricardo.
Ricardo, please.
There you go. I actually have a food recommendation.
Oh, let's hear it, bro.
And if you guys could put it up on the screen, the Rockbox Pizza Oven. Rockbox Pizza Oven. This is amazing.
Okay, what's the deal?
Okay, it's homemade pizza. It comes about this big. Okay, I don't know if you can see me. It's about as big as my monitor. It runs on propane, or you can run it on wood. But anyway, you get the pizza dough. You make your own pizza, and in less than 90 seconds, usually around 60 seconds, it's so hot. You have your fresh homemade pizza, the best pizza.
Nice.
Do you guys use it? You ever hear of it?
Holy moly! No. $500?
Yeah, but
wait a minute.
I need one of those.
This guy makes money when he's sleeping.
I guess, yeah.
Guy
He's
makes
making
money.
serious
No,
money from $500 pizza oven.
It's amazing. We have friends over when we make 4 or 5 pizzas at a time. Healthy pizzas usually, but sometimes we have sausage and peppers.
That's awesome.
I love the Rockbox pizza. All my friends use it.
So my only thing is I don't know where to put it.
We have to put it outside.
Oh, it's outgoing.
Yeah,
oh, okay. All right. We could do that.
Yeah, like outside, yeah.
I got an outside area.
Like on a, I don't know, table
just like
or
on a little table. But you'll be shocked at how the key is, by the way, it comes with what's called a peel. And what the peel does is lets you slip it under the pizza, and you keep turning it around. 60 seconds, the hottest, freshest pizza you'll ever have.
I just can't believe that. I can't believe I haven't heard of it.
Oh, look at that. Look at the flame there and everything.
Well, and if you think about it, it's like $10 a pizza. If you eat 50 pizzas in a year, and I know I do, then it's paid for.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and plus, you know what? It's really fun. You get together with friends and you make it. And we had some friends over. We had 3 couples. Everyone made different pizzas and comes in different colors. And now they have even a bigger one, so you can make other things than just pizza in there. So hey, this could be like a whole new class, pizza photography with a Rockbox oven.
Have you shot pizza, Aaron?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
shot quite a bit.
Of course.
Well, actually, I did all the Rockbox pizza.
Aaron has shot.
I shoot for Via Napoli and Tutto Italia at Disney and the Epcot Pavilion. So all the Italian restaurants at Epcot, and so we shoot a lot of pizza. And Via Napoli, that's like the authentic Neapolitan style, pizza.
Yeah, I've eaten at both of those restaurants
Yep.
at Epcot, of course, because I'm here in Florida. And
Yep.
kind of grew up in the Disney thing. We have annual passes and.
Yeah, well, my family's had annual passes for like the last 20 years. So I remember when I first started doing this, and I had this guy reach out to me, and he said, "Yeah, I'm the VP of marketing for a couple of places down at Disney," and he rings off all these Epcot restaurants. I'm like, "Oh my God, really? That's so cool."
This episode is unfair.
So
Aaron, look
Aaron,
at that.
When Disney
Look at
World
that.
opened back in October of 1971, I was 11 years old. And I'd already been to So Aaron, here's a little trivia question. Do you know where the AAU headquarters are in Lake Buena Vista? There's a building that is called the AAU. It's the American Athletics Union. So there's a Holiday Inn Express that's real tall there, right across the street.
Yep, I know that.
That was the Disney Preview Center. So that was all there was at Disney, was that building. And my mom and dad took me over there because they liked Disney, and they took me over when I was a kid. And we had been there a couple of times, and they had a scale model of what Disney World would one day be.
Yeah.
All right, so this is like in 1969 or something, So anyway, when it opened in October, like on opening day, my mom and dad drove me to opening day.
Oh, wow.
And they closed the park before we could get in.
Oh, no.
We were out on Interstate 4, and they're like, and on the radio, it's like, Disney has closed the park for the day. They've reached capacity. So we went like 2 weeks later, and it was awesome. And by the time I was 18, I had been over 100 times just to the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And so I kind of grew up with it. I lived about 48 minutes from the Disney entrance. So
yeah.
And my mom loved it. My mom was the biggest Disney fan, so she was like, "Let's go!" And I'm like, "Okay," It was great. And I remember when parking was 50 cents.
Oh yeah.
What is it now?
$25.
$25.
Yeah, unless you want to get premium, and then it's like $45.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's what's great. Eric has an electric car.
Right.
And Eric goes all the way to the front row.
Oh, yeah, for the EV.
Parks in the front row with his charge point.
Yeah.
Look out there.
If you can get a spot anymore.
Yeah, there's so many EVs now.
My daughter's 14 years old, and we were actually at Disney on her due date, and she didn't arrive for another 2 weeks, but
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So she has been we always said she was either going to hate Disney when she grew up, or she was going to love it, but she still loves it.
Oh yeah,
so my daughter is starting to transfer over to Universal Studios.
Yeah. My daughter's 15. She still loves it, but she does like Universal too. My daughter loves Universal.
We love Harry Potter Land over there. That's awesome.
Oh, that Harry Potter Land is amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Rick, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm ready.
Rick, do you ever go to amusement parks?
I used to go to when our son was small. We took him down there.
All right. It's important. Yeah. It's a Florida thing.
Well, he lives you're in New York City, right? So that's kind of
he's outside of New York.
Yeah, we're an hour from New York City, and we want Scott to come up here and play guitar and play a bass and play some keyboards. So, yeah.
Rick, I'm glad you brought that up.
You're coming?
No. Never. No, yes, I'm coming, but that's not what
never.
No. I'm selling this guitar. So I sold one yesterday, and I sell them on reverb.com. Because I just have too many guitars. I had like 43. I'm trying to get down to 20 or something. So I'm selling this one. I bought this in Nashville at what is it, Gruen Guitars in Nashville?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It is a beautiful candy apple red Fender Telecaster, and it's on reverb.com if you want to get it. And I always put my stuff at really good prices because I just want to sell it. Anyway, it is mint condition. Literally, I bought it.
That's a beauty.
I brought it back with me on the plane, and it hung in my office. So my office, see if I can show you a picture of my office. My office at the office is a wall of guitars. So let me just go find it here. It's in my favorites.
I have a picture of us there.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Because you're Rick Salmon. You have a great picture of us, like a selfie we did.
Yeah.
I probably have it in here, too. Let me find my wall here. Where's my wall? Why can't I find my wall?
I think Tom Petty.
I think, and while you're looking for it, we got to go through some prizes.
Go through the prizes, and I'll
tons of
find the
prizes
wall.
given away today. So we've got the Platypod Twin Pack is going to Judah. Then we got the No Noise On One No Noise is going to Ed Wiener, and then we have Boris Effects Optics going to Steve Bauer. Then we have Lightroom 7-Point System book is going to. What do we got? Paula Karen Stone, and then copy of the ebook. So the travel photography is going to David Marsack, and then we have Rick Salmon's book going to Jim Ewing, and then the Lightroom ebook, the new ebook, the 5 copies are going to Pat SF, Joanne Graves, Norm G, Richard Windsor, and then Jamie Fieldman. So just contact us over at gridprize@kelby1.com, and then we'll verify your information, send you out your prize. There you go.
All right, hang on
All right,
one
so
second.
the wall of guitars.
I've not found it yet, but
All right.
I know where it's at now.
So I got a couple questions maybe we could buzz through while we're waiting.
Do it.
So Aaron, question, what lens do you use for most of your food photography?
So up until recently, I just recently, about a year ago now, upgraded to phase 1. And so on the medium format camera, I'm using 120 millimeter macro, but that medium format to full frame really comes down to about 85. And so on my Nikon, up until then, I'm pretty much 90% of my work is shot on 85 millimeter, and I use the tilt shift lens. The tilt shift lens is just, it's so clear, gorgeous, gorgeous lens, and it allows me in food photography, if you've ever seen a picture of like a slice of cake where, you know, the focus is actually down the side of the cake and then the out of focus areas are on the sides, you can only do that with a tilt shift. And if you've ever seen a bad photo of a slice of cake, you'll see it where you see one little part of the cake that's in focus and the front is out and the back is out, and that just looks a mess. So the tilt shift, the technical lens, really comes in handy with food photography. But 85 millimeters is typically where I'm at.
Interesting. All right, I found the shot. So this is the wall of my office. So lots of guitars there, but I have more at home. It's an issue.
Yeah, Guitar Alley, I think you call it.
That's the one on the bottom right, right? There.
Yeah, so it's the one on the bottom right, and literally, like, I brought it from Gruen Guitars, and I knew I wanted it for my wall. I played it the day it came in, and then I hung it on the wall. It has been on the wall all this time, but I'll tell you which ones I'm selling. I'm selling that one. I'm selling the Stratocaster, the blue, but I don't have these on Reverb yet. So I'm selling that whole middle row. In fact, I sold the one in the middle row, the first one in the middle row, yesterday. So that one's shipping out to like California, I think, or Arizona actually. So I'm selling all those, but you know, it's just, it takes time to get the pictures and get them up and all that stuff. So anyway, but this one is on reverb.com right now. If you search for Candy Apple Red Telecaster, it's this baby right here.
Sweet.
It's a champ, let me tell you.
So Scott, why are you selling these beautiful guitars?
Because I don't make passive income, Rick. I'm not making money while I sleep. That's why, Rick. No, actually, this sounds bad, but I realize I have too many guitars. I have a guitar issue. So what I'm trying to do, Rick, is I'm trying to get down to just a select few. So I have a home recording studio.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get down to some really good, like really good guitars. Some of these guitars, they're inexpensive. They're not $2,000 guitars. Like this guitar is like $500 or $600 or something. It's not very expensive. So I want to get down to some really nice guitars and just have those. So I just want I want a really great Strat, which I have. I want a really nice Gibson Les Paul. I want a really nice PRS. You know, I just want a certain number of guitars because it's gotten out of hand. I'm running out of space to store them. It's a whole fiasco. So that's where we're at. It's,
cool.
It's time to grow up and not have 43 guitars anymore. And I'm trying to get down. I'll probably get down to like 12, to be honest with you. Just
really?
But 12 really good ones, like, you know.
There you go.
Yeah, we moved into a new house about 2 years ago. Can you believe it's been 2 years?
I know.
It'll be 2 years
I
in
was thinking
February.
about that the other day.
I can't believe it. But it doesn't have that long hallway where I can hang 12 guitars. So like my closet at home is just, it's guitars in cases. It's just.
Oh, I think that's good. I mean, you're just whittling them down to like the essentials.
Yeah, I want
of what you need.
really good. I just want really good guitars, and you know, I don't need them for wall decorations anymore. Right. It's a sickness. It really is.
Now, speaking of gear, we do have one more gear question here. Joanne's asking, Aaron, do ring lights work for food?
No.
Just there you go. That's an easy one. No.
Wow.
So, you know, you're one of the main things with food is food and also beverages can be very reflective. You're working with a lot of reflective materials. Sauces are going to reflect, you know, all the different, if you've got butter on top of steak, it's going to reflect. And so a ring light is going to reflect in whatever you're taking pictures of. So you end up with really bad highlights and reflections on the front of a source. Now, if you took that ring light off of your camera and you put it on the back, it might be usable. But you're still going to have to worry about reflections and of that highlight in the highlights. Typically, sometimes when I use a beauty dish, I don't even like the way the beauty dish looks in a like I usually use rectangular modifiers because I like to you know, have those highlights really perfect.
Wow, nice. I love your wine shots.
Thanks. Yeah, and actually some of these you were asking about lens, and 85 is really usually what I'm using, but a lot of my work, especially when I get into the advertising stuff, I find myself going all the way down to a 15 millimeter. I love a really wide angle perspective on food. You just have to be really careful with verticals and warping things and whatnot. But
oh wow, well, those are beautiful.
Thanks.
What did I want to say? So this we were talking about amusement parks, and this is really corny, but you know that there are some people that actually get married at Disney World. I mean, that's the corniest, lamest.
It is very lame.
they have a whole wedding pavilion.
I'm just saying this because Erik, who might not mention this, got married at Disney. How do I know? Because his wife is in the chat, and she told me Erik got married at Disney. Now, I will say this.
We did.
We used to call Erik, we used to say that when he first got on the show, he had 3 topics: Disney, Tesla, and Amazon.
Yeah.
Those were Erik's 3. We would go, and that's how, in the beginning of the show, I introduce Erik, and I go, his name, it's Erik Kuna, to give this long list of things. I'll give you, for those of you who are new to the show, I will just give you a brief example.
That is one of the topics.
So we started with that.
Too many times.
Yeah, we started with that, but hold on, I'll just give you, I can give you just an example. I'll just grab like last week's or whatever.
But like I said, our daughter, she's really starting to get into the Universal now.
How old is she now?
She's 11 going on 12.
Yeah, so roller coaster age for sure.
Yeah,
roller
but
coasters and Harry
his
Potter.
daughter is also an exceptional child. She's not your regular. It's like her dad's winning awards.
I won. I stopped with one. It's like I won. I'm good.
They're all focused
I'm not
on
playing
her,
the hand again.
But she is
I'm out.
super sweet,
Ditto.
super smart, super talented. She's like
super cool.
She's working on a whole nother level. So you would meet her and you would never know that she was 11. You'd think she's 15 or 16. She's very, very mature for her age, extremely well spoken, and got a great sense of humor. Anyway, I would introduce Erik. I used to introduce him as it's Erik, Tesla, Disney, Amazon, Kuna, and now we rhyme with whatever the first thing is, because we call him the Rocket Man, right? The real Rocket Man. So and it says my co-host today is the real man with a Florida tan. He eats brandies from Kyrgyzstan. The real Rocket Man, Erik Kuna, is here. So that's where that came from, is giving Erik all these extra names. But it used to be Disney, so. They got married at Disney, and he's a Disney fan, and so are our family. I mean, it's hard not to like it, And you know what else too that I've seen evolve over the years? This has nothing to do with anything. Is when I went to Disney World as a child, the food was crap. It was awful. It was institutional food. The burgers were awful and all. Over the years,
cafeteria.
Yeah, it was like cafeteria. Over the years, the food at Disney has gotten to Rick Salmon style. It's really, really good now. Like, you can get amazing meals at Disney. In fact,
unless you go to the character ones, and that was that
the
phase
character
we went
ones
through.
are not so great.
They were terrible.
Well, I'm done with Chef Mickey's for breakfast.
It's terrible.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're going to wrap up the show here because I do have a food tip. Hey, Rick, where can people get your book?
Amazon. It's exclusively on Amazon, and thank you very much for having me. And great seeing all my friends there. It's always fun. It's always a ton of fun being with you.
All right, well, same here, Rick. It's always nice seeing your smiling face. Remember, you belong in a classic rock band. Just so you know, dude, I could so see you. You could be in Rush. Could you not be in Rush?
Yeah, I mean, you're spot on.
Dude, you are spot on. You got the long hair, the tan, the great smile.
Even those shirts.
Even the shirts, man. You're like one stage away from being on tour.
Well, Tommy Emmanuel says, I saw him, play. Tommy Emmanuel, right? The guitar player?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, you know who he is. Anyway, he says you dress up and you show up, and that's half the deal. So I dress up, I show up, and that's half the deal.
There you go. Yeah. And the other half is just being Rick Salmon. Rick, always a joy to see you. Thank you for joining us. You are awesome, and happy holidays to you. Hugs to the wifey, and you have a great, great holiday.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Aaron, I don't know. Do you know Rick Salmon, Aaron, now that he's gone?
No, I've heard his name for sure.
Dude, he is one of the nicest people you will ever meet.
Yeah, when I looked him up, I definitely knew his work. I'm really interested in looking at his book because I've started doing some fine art food photography, and I really want to build a name for myself in that over the next 10 years so that I can have that passive income.
That's smart.
Yeah, there you go.
So I gotta pick up his book.
Read his
for sure.
book. But Rick is he's one of the best guys in our industry. I mean, he's a great communicator, a great teacher, but you cannot help but love him. Like, as a person, when you're around him,
he looks like a cool dude.
He is a very cool dude. He's a musician, but he's also he has a great you know how people have a vibe? Rick gives off this vibe that is inspirational. You know what it is? I don't think anybody loves life at the level that Rick Saman. Rick loves life at like a little kid loves life. You know, Rick just loves everything. He loves to do everything. And being around someone like that is infectious. It really is.
Yeah.
Like you leave and you're just like, I love that guy.
That's why you love to learn from somebody like that, too.
Now, I'll say this. As much as I like Rick, he didn't shoot the menu at Carmine's, so he's okay. I mean, I like him all right.
So there's that.
So there's that.
I'll take it.
All right. Stuart says, trade guitars for chicken sandwiches.
There you go.
That's not your comment, is it, Stuart? Oh, we have a guest in the studio today. He's like, hey, you said we can stop by the Grid. Can I go stop by? I'm like, yeah, how's tomorrow?
Yeah.
There he is, hanging out over here with me. So his comments are making it through. All right, Christy Kuna.
Oh, don't do that.
Ask him about the Disney cruise. Now, I got to tell you, Erik got me on the Disney cruises.
Yes.
And the Disney cruise food is not good. I'm just going to tell you.
Except for the adult restaurants.
The adult restaurants. There are 2 restaurants.
Keep it real.
There are 2 restaurants on there that you have to get reservations for. And you have to be 18 years old to go. There's no kids in there. Twice I ate at Remy, which is their French restaurant. I'm not a French food fan. I'm just not my thing. Aaron, I kid you not, the 2 best meals I had each of those years were at Remy. Absolutely unbelievable. The service is incredible. The food is unbelievable, and they just keep bringing courses.
Like the food comes out, and it's like you could just take your camera out and be like, "Boom, food."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's plated.
It's like perfect.
It's a Michelin-starred chef. It's like he's got 3 Michelin stars or whatever. It's like they brought him over from France. I'm telling you, Remy is unbelievable. Now, I'm pretty much done with Disney cruises because the rest of the food is
it has really gone downhill. I will say that. We've talked about that. And, my wife, we've been on a lot of them, but over the years, it's gone way downhill. Now, the adult restaurants, I agree.
Oh yeah,
but I am with you. Like it used to be really good, and it kind of went. Like you were talking about, like Disney. Disney went like that. And Disney Cruise went like this.
Yes, Disney World went up in their quality, and Disney Cruise is like it's like carnival food.
Oh, some of it's just inedible anymore.
Oh yeah, dude, it's and there's no reason for it because it's expensive as anything.
Well, I think they took the playbook of we'll just make every meal like character breakfast at Disney. It's
bad.
Terrible.
Really,
just
really
make
bad.
it terrible.
All right, we don't have anything else left. Oh, I got my food tip to leave us with. Now, Aaron, you're going to cringe when I say this. Just like I'm going to talk about spaghetti sauce.
The what?
Now, spaghetti sauce. All right. So I found a sauce.
Uh-oh.
It's the sauce that's the boss, which is actually somebody else's slogan. That's Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yep, Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's. But anyway, this sauce is phenomenal because now I know that there are people out there, and there's like a whole war about Prego or ragu. And like I talk to friends like, oh God,
neither.
Prego.
Or neither.
Or neither.
Yeah, I don't think either one of those are any good either.
Oh.
But dude, people argue about
That ain't
this
spaghetti
online.
sauce.
Let me tell you, I have found the sauce. But because I'm old, I just forgot the name of it. So I'm going to go to my Publix app and look it up.
Is it from the same company that does the Parmesan Romano cheese that you love?
No, that's Locatelli. That stuff is...
Right, that.
Oh, I'm telling you.
That was a great food photo, by the way.
But if did you take the photo?
Huh?
Did you take the Locatelli photo? Oh no, that was the one I showed on the photo.
Yeah,
the one from the show, like, yeah.
All right, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it because it is an important part of my life. But if I go to Instacart, which is where I order my food, I can find it very easily.
Now, is this like a low carb thing or just a
no.
straight up just tomato sauce?
Well, it's not
thing?
bad. The carbs are not bad.
Okay.
It's a meat sauce. So marinara sauces I found are all pretty good. Like it's hard to go wrong with
You just got to
the
watch
marinara.
the sugar content sometimes they get in those.
Right, but this one is not bad. All right, and it's going to say it's not Classico. Hold on, it's not Prego. That's what's coming up here. Hey, where's mine? Oh, now I got to go to my favorites. Erik Stahl.
Well, for me,
Barilla.
I don't do any of that sauce in a can. I just make it myself.
Oh, dude, this
Yeah.
is but this is
That's what I
shockingly
do.
good. It really is.
Spaghetti sauce is really easy to make.
Yeah, it actually
but I wouldn't
really
tell
is.
you this if
And
it
you don't get
wasn't-
any of that sodium that's loaded up in that can.
Yep, no.
What
it's
makes
perfect.
you think there's sodium in this, Erik? I get sodium
If
free.
it could sit on the shelf for that long,
It sits on the shelf 6.5 years. Yes. All right. Kim just texted me with it. Rouse. RAOS.
Oh, yeah.
Bolognese sauce. Now, if you guys will look it up in the control room, Rouse. RAOS. But specifically their bolognese. I've tried their marinara. It's very good. But I did this research online. Like, what is the best sauce? And everybody, when it came down to it, like, oh, it's Rouse, it's Rouse, it's Rouse. I'm like, I got it, dude. It's Rouse. Best spaghetti sauce in a jar. It's not in a can. It is not in a can. It's in a jar. And the saying, it's the jar that makes it good. No.
All right, I got to try it.
There it is. Rouse homemade.
Yep.
Now, that's the marinara. All right. And see, it says keto friendly and carb conscious. Look at that.
It's probably lower sugar, which is good.
Right.
Yes.
But the one that you want is actually the bolognese. And the marinara is very good. Don't get me wrong. I have both. I have both for emergency situations. But their bolognese is phenomenal. Now, if you happen to be in Clearwater, Florida, which many people are, by the way, there's like 1 million people in Clearwater, especially at spring break. There's a restaurant, and you probably know it because I ate there for the first time in 1980, and it's still there. It is. There's the Rouse Homestyle 24 ounce. It's an invisible picture. It's taken in a
You guys
snowstorm.
talk about the place off of Gulf to Bay?
Yes. Capona's Dugout. It's been there.
there
I ate there for
forever.
the first time in 1980s. It's still there. Guys, I'm telling you, I don't know what they do, but their sauce there, it makes everything great. Their spaghetti is great. Their pizza's great. Everything is great. And it's like a local, it's where you go after the game and you have pizza and pasta.
Yep.
It is a very casual place, but I'm telling you, it's not Carmine's, but it's up there. It's better than like Maggiano's, which I love.
Yeah.
Love Maggiano's, but way better. Anyway, all right. Aaron, you need to wrap the show up with the last thing we're going to do is your food tip. Where should we eat, or what should we buy at the store?
Oh my goodness. I think, for my food tip, I'll give one that I usually give people. So I love developing recipes. And so whenever I want to try something new, like let's take a chicken Parmesan. I want to make a chicken Parmesan. I'll go out and I will find like the top 10 recipes for chicken Parmesan. And you look at those and you find out all the things that are the same out of those 10 recipes.
Yes.
And if you find all the things that are the same in every recipe, those are like the staples. That's the core. Then you can take that core and start experimenting with that, and you build your own recipe, and eventually you'll have a really great recipe that will be like a family heirloom, and everybody will love it, and you can show off and all that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I do the exact same thing that he does. That's what, and my wife can attest to it probably in the chat. I'll break stuff down that will be like, it should be like, you could recreate that, and I'll just kind of like break it down, and then I'll find out what other recipes have in common.
Yep.
And it's the same way, it's the same thing you're describing there is the same thing with photography.
Yeah.
It's breaking down recipes of people's different photos to figure out what you like. What are the key elements? What are those strong characteristics of that photo or that dish? And then you're making something with it.
Eric,
Well,
I
I
don't
think the
appreciate
key that
you
you
getting
just
off the
said is
topic.
what you like. That's what helps develop your style. You find what you like.
Right.
Yep.
I don't cook, but luckily, because I don't cook, I married one of the best cooks on the planet. My wife is an incredible cook. And if she does make her own spaghetti, and her own sauce,
Yes, that's
it's
what I
way
do.
better
That's it.
than Rouse. But I mean, I can make Rouse. I heat it up. It's ready. It's to go. You heat it and you eat it. You heat it and you eat it. All right, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing all of those tips, including that last one, which was very good, by the way.
Thank you for
Now
having
we got
me.
to have lunch.
Yeah, I got to go eat. This is like, stop
Definitely.
showing his site. This is I never get angry at looking at other people's photography. But around lunchtime, the last site I want to see is Aaron's. It's the most delicious looking stuff. Congratulations on the wonderful job you're doing. Also, we are proud to have you here teaching classes, so thank you for doing that. Stop with the chicken sandwich.
That one looks really good.
That's
Show
the
the
one I want.
splashes.
Oh
You
my
can show the
God.
splashes because that's what we're going to be talking about next. So.
All right. And then what was I going to say? Congratulations to you, Mr. Kuna, for
thank you.
your cover and your first place. That is amazing. We're very proud of Mr. K. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean that in a we're proud of him for Erik hasn't been shooting for 25 years. It's like he's the fastest winner of everything in the history of photography. It's like the guy said, I'll do a little. I'm an iPhone photographer. I'll pick up a DSLR, and next thing you know, he's on the base shooting rockets and shooting wards. And it's just, He's just that kind of guy, though. Erik gets into something, he goes all the way in.
Oh, yeah.
Erik is not a passive shooter. He's not a passive photographer, he goes deep.
Yeah.
And Erik is extremely good at research. He's very, very good at researching
That's
things.
one of the things that I think that half of it is half photography. There's like a quarter pre, quarter shooting, and then half post.
Yeah. You guys have heard me mention my buddy Paul. He's been on the show. Paul Kober's been on the show. And I always joke with Paul, he's the worst at research of anyone in the world. Like if he goes to search for something on Google, he always searches for a term that will never bring up the answer you want. He is literally, it's a running joke between him and I. He's like, I'll look it up on Google. I'm like, no, you won't. You'll never find it. It's like, if he looked for that rouse, he would never, I searched for rouse and it's just not on Google. I'm like, oh, dude, what did you search for? Red spaghetti, no, that's not it. It's a sauce.
I go the other way where I start dissecting the ingredients and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beyond me. Thank you for being here, Aaron. Thanks for covering for me, Erik, when I was momentarily.
No problem.
And
we'll get the helicopter
unexplainably-
tuned up for next week.
Oh, yeah, let's get the chopper ready. I want to be here on time. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to our crew here, and thanks to Stuart, our in-studio guest. And you are happy to come by and just hang out at the Grid anytime you want. You know the time we film, Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're over on vacation, and I've got a couple of emails of people that are vacationing over this way, come on by and you'll see how the sausage is made, and it's just awful. Take care, everybody. See you next week, maybe on time. Who knows? It could happen.